let's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. His confidence. He looked like Alex Smith out there. When he came to the team in 2017, he looked what stood out most about him, his best quality was his confidence. He stepped onto the field with a 1-10 team and acted like he knew he was going to win all those 5 games. And I think the players look at him and was like, dude, where did you come from? Who are you? We lose. You win. This is crazy. And I think he had this aura, this personality that's not there right now. And I don't know if Shanahan beat it out of him, if all of my criticism and Shanahan's undercutting analysis has him afraid to make a mistake, but that's what it looks like to me. I mean, 2 for 11 on 3rd down, that's not Jimmy. He looked like, and maybe he just had no confidence in his wide receivers. But again, in 2017, he was throwing to who? Whom? He was throwing to Marquise Goodwin. He didn't care who he was throwing to. He was throwing to Marquise Goodwin and Trent Taylor. It was no issue. Now he's like getting back in the pockets. Like, oh, if my first read's not open, where am I going? I don't know. Like, I don't want to throw to Dante. I don't know. It's like, how afraid are you to throw a pick? What's going on? He seems like he's lost confidence. He seems like he's playing afraid to make a mistake. Like he's afraid to hear what Shanahan has to say after the game. I don't know. Isn't that what you guys have seen? Like, what was that? That was not the Jimmy Garoppolo mentality I'm used to. He used to be the kind of guy who'd throw a pick, come back, and have the same exact confidence. That was the best quality of his. His best qualities are his confidence and the fact that he wins. And he didn't do either yesterday. If he has a rough season and starts losing and starts playing like Alex Smith, what do you point to and say, well, this is what makes him good? His accuracy, his arm strength, his mobility, his football IQ? He has a lot to answer for. And if he loses his confidence, things could get bad for him. Let's see what 49ers want to do. He says, yep, he would rather do what Shanny wants on the play than just play. Yeah. And you know what? I think Shanahan would rather have him do what Shanahan wants than to have him just play. Garoppolo at his best was 2017 when he just played. And I don't think Shanahan wanted to do that full term. You saw what 2018 was. Jimmy was struggling in 2018 before he hurt his knee. Who knows what that season would have been like? He was 1-2. He was awful in Minnesota. He was great last year. But again, last year, they could win games running reverses. They beat teams like running like the Navy offense, the Naval Academy offense. I mean, he was a little bit along for the ride at times. Now, with Raheem Mostert's averaging 3.7 yards per carry because you're playing shotgun some other offense that isn't you, he needs to step up. And what did he do? He all of a sudden looked, I mean, that last drive was pathetic. It was pathetic. You know, I'm worked up when I go octaves, when I go to the El DeBarge range. Another Jimmy topic, which was discouraging because it wasn't just his confidence that was bad yesterday. It was, to me, his footwork. And I think it all came to a head on the final pass of the game, the pass to Trent Taylor at the sideline. First of all, he was late. But second of all, the pass was just floated. And what I'm seeing from him is he's not stepping towards his targets. His feet are way spread out. His feet are dead. You watch him when he was on the Patriots. He's bouncing in the pocket. He has an athletic weight transfer from his back foot to his front. He looks like a boxer. He looks like a welterweight. He looks like Sugar Ray Leonard bouncing in the pocket. Now his feet are stopped. There's not a real aggressive weight transfer. And so it's all arm. And so when he needs to throw the ball to Trent Taylor with the game on the line across the field, is nothing on it. And it's his feet. It's not his arm. It's not like he's lost strength in his arm. He just doesn't move anymore. And I don't get it. It just, to me, look, it's on Garoppolo. You need to be on that, Jimmy. But they would never let that happen in New England. Whoever, not Bill Belichick, not Josh McDaniels, not whoever that quarterback coach is, they would make sure that his mechanics were pristine. For whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan and Shane Day have let this happen. They've let some real sloppy mechanics show up on film from Jimmy, and it reflects on them too. Jimmy keeps doing this, and Kyle needs to think about getting a new quarterback coach. Sorry, Shane, you're a really nice guy. That's terrible. You watch his feet. often the front foot is not pointed at the target. And what's that about? That's like a second baseman when he's trying to flip the double play and doesn't have time to set his feet and he has to flip it. That's great. You're a quarterback, man. You have time. Set your feet. Or as Kyle Shanahan would say, set your freaking feet, except without the word freaking. Right? You're not a novice. You're making $27 million a year. Your mechanics are supposed to be on point all the time. And the reason the arm strength is going is because of mechanics.
I mean, I could, if I went on Jimmy, dude, there would be like, I'd just keep talking because there's just so many things you could say wrong with that dude. But I think that it's time that if you're the Niners, I mean, you're probably thinking maybe, damn, I wish we pulled the trigger on Tom Brady, because the entire idea was that he would improve. That's what they were banking on. Right. Good point. But the sample size was large enough now where you can say this is what he is. He's never going to hit the ceiling that he showed he could hit in 2017 and 2016. Now, to be fair, I think the Niners felt that when they decided not to get Brady, I don't think they understood what the pandemic would do to the offseason. I think they thought that Jimmy Garoppolo would have like the whole offseason to like practice and improve, because there was no way he was going to magically step on the field in training camp with no preparation and be better. That's not him. Dude, did you see Lamar Jackson yesterday? Yeah, but that's not – Lamar Jackson's way better than but his throwing Jimmy mechanics Garoppolo. Improved. Wow. His throwing mechanics improved. And yeah, and Jimmy did. Dak Prescott looked a lot better throwing the football. Yeah. These guys work out on their own. They're supposed to be refining these elements of their game 12 months a year. I mean, Nick Mullens does. Yeah, Cam Newton looked better. They all do. Yeah. Right. Where it's like these mechanic issues were things that came up in 2018 at the beginning of the year when he just started planting himself like a tree in the pocket and just kind of shoveling his hips to throw the ball. Yes. What is that? Yes, that's exactly what he does, man. His feet are stuck. And it's all upper body. Yeah, and he hasn't improved it at all till now. It doesn't make sense to me. Is he not working, or is he not working on the right things, or who knows? I mean, it's an indictment of him, and it's an indictment of the coaching staff. It should be a point of emphasis for both of them. Absolutely, dude. In New England, it would be, because he did it right in New England. I mean, he was a different quarterback in New England. He looked like the next Tom Brady in those games he played. Yeah, he really did throw with a whole lot of zip. Yeah. And dude. One more thing. The decision-making thing, what Saleh said about him being a quick decision-maker, did that manifest itself yesterday? No. And it's exactly what Shanahan said. Well, he's been going against Saleh's defense for 3 years. Let's see what he does against another defense. What's up? I just wanted to know, like, I feel like there was so many people, like so many times people got open, but it's like he just didn't throw like their direction, or he would just like throw like a little dink like super quick just to like, I have no idea really like why. Like, did they show that on TV? Yeah, TV. They showed it on TV. So I'm in the press box and I can see it, but I don't have a great view of the reviews. So what I saw was a couple of times they would set up for the shot play, and you know it's coming because Garoppolo's under center and the two wide receivers are in close. So they're both in position to run those deep crossing routes. And they do the play action, and Pettis goes deep. He's going towards the south end zone, and Jimmy doesn't throw it. And I thought Pettis was open. Now, maybe I wouldn't throw that pass to Pettis either, but I think when I go and watch the coaches tape tomorrow, I think there's going to be examples of Jimmy just not pulling the trigger, which is why I'm comparing. The one where Mostert like went out, and he's like wide open in the end zone on the left side of the field. Was that right before the McKinnon? Was that right before the McKinnon touchdown? Or was it on a different series? So. No, I think it was. I can't remember. But you're right. You're right. I mean, so many people blowing up my phone. Like, how did he miss this? Even the commentators talking about how KB was open like a lot of the time, and it's just like not getting the ball. And I just want to know, like, is Shanahan maybe saying like, you know, there's a certain person he's supposed to throw to, and it's just like if it's not there, he's just like forgetting like what to do, or like I have no idea. Well, it's tough to say. I think remember what Robert Saleh said about him in training camp. He said he's becoming a quicker decision maker. That you're seeing less examples of him hitting his back foot and not knowing where to go with the ball. Well, I think we saw a lot of examples of him doing that yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, for real. So I think, you know, what's funny is when Saleh said that, the next day Shanahan was like, well,
Garoppolo's been going up against Saleh's defense for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So I would hope so. The real test is when he goes up against another team and his decision-making was not quick. So Shanahan was prophetic about that. He hadn't seen this defense in a while. They gave him problems, and he just doesn't process information that quickly. We've seen it.
I think you were right about drafting Jordan Love. I tweeted at you today about that.
Well,
I mean, I was like super positive about Jimmy last year, about it's just off the ACL, another year in Shanahan's system. But I think there was like some potential for like he needed some pressure behind him from like with the quarterback competition or something. Because the way he came out week 1 was just not somebody who was like fighting for his job, which if you look at his contract, that's what he is. Like he literally has a year left. Like it's year to year from now on. And I don't think he understands that. And I don't know when he's ever going to trust that knee again. Because like the way he looked in 2016, 2017 was really good. And now it's like you said, he's just aiming the ball with his arm. He's never going to have the arm strength again until he trusts that knee. And I wonder if like, I mean, that's, yeah, like you're probably right. Like that's on the quarterback coach too. And also on Shanahan. Like Walsh was like always like on every quarterback for like footwork. Right. And like,
it had to be perfect.
Yeah. Like you're not playing if you don't have perfect footwork. Like you have to just constantly be drilling that in. And it seems like maybe
has to be a point of emphasis.
Yeah. Like maybe they were getting away with it last year because they're just winning games. But like this year, the margin of error is like just tiny compared to what they have this year. The defense was obviously going to drop off a little bit. You can't expect them to be as good as they were last year. Sometimes the ball is just not going to bounce your way. Like last year, everybody's like pointing to the week 1 game where Jimmy didn't play that well last year. Well, like last year, the ball bounced your way and you had 2 pick sixes and you won that game, right? So you got away with that. But like this year, the margin of error is lower, which is where you need like a $27 million quarterback to make up for that margin of error. And like, he's just not doing that this year.
No, the 27. Hey, hold on. Sorry, I got to let you go because there's an echo. If you got put on some headphones, but that's a really great point. And what I'm going to say is the $27 million a year quarterback yesterday was on Arizona. That guy played like a guy who's making $27 million a year. Jimmy looked like a guy who's in his second season.
What's up, Grant? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you, dude?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think on the Jimmy thing, like, I like that you touched on the mental aspect of it. Like, if you think about his success, when you come in on like a 1-11 team and then you have no expectations, you don't know the playbook, you can just sling it. No one expects anything from you. And then you come off an ACL, and it's kind of the same case. Like, I'm still rehabbing the knee. Like, you know, we don't know what we are. We had a number 2 pick overall. I can just sling it, right? And then when the expectations rise, like that Minnesota game is a great example because the following game against Detroit, he got sacked like, what was it, like 8 times? He held on to the ball too much. So to me, like, I think it's a little bit underrated, like the mental elements of Jimmy. Like, that's his strength and his weakness. Like, when he's feeling himself, he's throwing it into double coverage. He's kind of winging it. But then when he's not, like, it's very evident. Like yesterday, like, he saw ghosts one play. Like, he just ducked down and, like, it was very Alex Smith-esque, right?
It was.
So I thought that was really interesting. I think there's more to come there.
One good caveat to Jimmy Garoppolo yesterday is he didn't throw a pick. I'm happy for that. I don't know about anybody else. I'm extremely happy for that. Jimmy's mechanics are not good when he's in the shotgun because he's flat-footed. You need to put Jimmy under the center where he's best at, where his feet are continuing to move at all times, where he sets his feet and he throws the ball. Move the pocket, play action as much as possible.
I mean, like, back on the Jimmy thing, like, also, they haven't played football in 7 months. Like, this is what's going to happen. Like,
right.
And
to be fair, same thing goes for the Cardinals. I mean, they had the same set of excuses. What has to happen for Kyle to put in Mullens? I don't know that Kyle can do that this year. I think Jimmy has to get hurt. Last year, I'm telling you, if Jimmy did this last year in Tampa and they lost and things got, like, if they had started the season 0-2 last year or 0-3 or 1-4, they might have done it early. Remember, Mike Silver was talking that Jimmy was on a short leash and that the organization really likes Nick Mullens. That wasn't me. So now he's been to a Super Bowl. I think it's tough. You might lose your locker room. I mean, it's tough to bench a guy 7 months after he was playing in the Super Bowl. You can do it, But I think his leash got longer. That's fair. But again, if they're 0-4, which they're not going to be, but if they're 0-4 and Jimmy's a disaster, they'll do what they have to do. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I guess as long as, well, let's be honest. I mean, let's be real about it. Kittle's probably not going to play next week. Debo's definitely not going to play next week. Brandon Ayuk's a rookie. God knows when he's going to come back and how effective he'll be after 10 days of training camp and nothing else to prep. It's not breaking in Jimmy Garoppolo's favor right now. He's actually getting none of the breaks right now. So we may be having this conversation in the future, the Nick Mullens conversation, because there may be a lot of excuses every week with Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, he didn't play well again, but who were his wide receivers? He didn't play well again, but what do you really expect? Who's his center? I mean, I'm not saying that Nick Mullens is going to be the long-term franchise quarterback of the 49ers, but if this is what he's competing with, I mean, doesn't look like a physically gifted quarterback right now. He looks like a guy with a subpar arm. I mean, in terms of arm strength, a guy who doesn't see the field that well, who is a little shaky with the game on the line last 2 games. Again, his best ability is winning. When you say, what does Jimmy do best? He just wins. I don't know how he does it. He wins. Well, he didn't do that yesterday or in the Super Bowl. So I think the question is, if he keeps playing like this and doesn't improve, because as the previous caller said, the Niners kept him because they were banking on him improving. They said he lacks experience. He's going to get better. Let's not give up on him and just bring in Brady. Let's see where Jimmy can go. Well, if he doesn't improve, then next offseason gets real interesting. Because if he doesn't improve this year, when is that improvement going to come? He's almost 29. Next year, he'll be 30. So if this is his level, if this is his ceiling, then they definitely got to see who's available next year. Is Aaron Rodgers available? Is Deshaun Watson available? Is someone available? Is Dak Prescott available? Matt Stafford? The only thing that would let us forgive Jimmy was that he would make plays to win. Yeah. It's like good Jimmy and bad Jimmy always fight, and then good Jimmy comes out on top. Well, yesterday, good Jimmy left that game like in the second quarter. And like bad Jimmy took over on that throw to George Kittle, the high one that got Kittle injured. And then good Jimmy was like, oh, you take over. I'm just going to sit this one out. That's all you. I don't want any piece of that.